Hello, Mind Body Masters, and welcome to episode number 19 of the podcast. Now, today's episode is titled How Israel Healed 20 Years of Back Pain in a Matter of Moments, live on Instagram. So this episode is a little bit different to the traditional episodes we've done here on the program. And in this episode, I'm going to interview Israel live on Instagram and help him to overcome some debilitating back pain that he's been struggling with. So if you want to see the process which I take people through, and if you want to see just how quickly you can overcome pain, well, this episode's for you. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jake Curry. As a former chiropractor, I realized that people's physical symptoms started in their mind and not in their body, which is why I now teach people how to heal themselves from the inside out. Now, you don't need to be a monk or a mystic to heal yourself. You just need to learn how to master your mind-body connection. And this podcast is going to show you how. You're going to learn how to understand the hidden meaning of your symptoms, resolve the old emotional baggage that's kept you stuck, and gain practical tools to reduce the stress in your life. This is going to give you the ability to heal not only physically, but also spiritually. And this comes with a dangerous level of freedom. So let's help you become a mind-body master. All right, Mind Body Masters. And as I alluded to there in the intro, this is a bit of a different episode. So in this episode, I wanted to, like I said, show people just how powerful you are, how quickly physical pain can heal when you find the root emotional cause and when you're able to move through that. So in today's episode, in a moment, we're going to cut to some audio of an Instagram live that I did recently. And in this live, I put it out there to Instagram. I said, hey, if you guys are struggling with pain, I'm going to offer a free coaching session and I'm going to take you through the pain-free process, the process which I've developed to help people to get out of pain. And yeah, we're just going to have a chat. So Israel put his hand up. He was someone that had been struggling with back pain for on and off for 22 years or something. And he recently had a bit of a flare-up. So he was a perfect candidate, and we got right into it. We started coaching, and today's episode, you're going to start to see the process that I take people through and how it is really possible for you to heal back pain. So if you're someone with back pain, if you're someone who's struggling with pain, if you've tried everything to heal, this episode's for you because you can see just how quickly, just how easily you can start to heal pain. So I'm going to cut to that audio now, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, we are live on Instagram. What is up, Instagram family? It's Jake here. And we wanted to jump on here today to do some coaching, to do some consulting with one of you guys, whoever it might be. Basically, I wanted to use this time to help you guys. If you are someone who is struggling with pain, if you are someone who has tried everything, you've been to all the doctors, you've been to all of the therapists, and you're still in pain, I'm going to use this time here on Instagram to help you make some connections between the mind and your body. So before I do that, I want to just go over what I call the hopeless healer. So the hopeless healer is basically someone who has tried everything. They've done all kinds of therapies, they've done all kinds of treatments, but nothing has worked for them, and they're still struggling. They're still experiencing a lot of pain or other kinds of symptoms. But today we're going to be focusing on pain. And there's a few types of beliefs, there's a few types of things that they might have heard from practitioners that put them in this category of what we call the hopeless healer. So the first one that I hear a lot of people, and guys, keep this chat interactive. If you want to jump on, just say, let me know once we get started. But there's a few categories of people, and one of the categories is there's people that are going, hey, I have done everything and nothing has worked. This is the first category, right? Is if this is something that's emotional, that's going to be a really big thing, because the problem with the traditional way of dealing with pain is it looks at pain as purely a physical problem. So I did a podcast episode recently on this, talking about how to know if your pain is physical or if it is emotional. So this is one of the key ways. If you've been to all of the traditional methods and nothing has worked for you, the reason it hasn't worked for you is because you're missing the underlying root cause, which is a stress or underlying emotional issue. So that's one of the first things. The other thing that these people have often heard is, oh, well, we can't figure it out, so you're going to have to live with it. There's nothing you can really do. This is just you. You're going to have to either live with it or you're going to have to learn to manage this pain. So these are two really big things that a lot of these, what I call the hopeless healer, has to deal with, the things that they've heard in their life. So what we're all about here at Mind Body Masters is helping people to understand that their pain that they're experiencing often isn't physical. If things are reoccurring again and again, chances are that there is an underlying emotional cause, and nothing will change until you actually deal with that. So we are all about teaching you guys how to start dealing with that root emotional cause of whatever's going on for you. Because one of the things that I know, and one of the things that I've seen so often, is that once people are able to find the specific link between their mind and the body, and they're able to recognize this thing's causing my shoulder pain, or this thing's causing my my heel pain, or whatever, when you're able to make that connection, you can all of a sudden start to let it go and start to heal. So basically, if you've got a pain, let's just open. We've got a request here. I'll bring Israel. All right. I'm going to bring someone on live, and they should be able to join me live here. Hopefully this will work. Denise says, was curious from you last night, if not sure of the source of your pain, example, mum and dad, etc., how can you heal the pain if we aren't quite sure of the exact cause? I'll come back to that, Denise, but we're going to go through a couple people, and I'm going to give you some real life insights for people that are dealing with pain. So Israel, g'day mate, how are you?
I am great. Can you hear me all right?
I can. I'm just going to turn my phone up a little bit. Awesome, dude. Nice to see you.
And you, long time.
Absolutely, mate. So obviously you're dealing with some kind of pain, I'm assuming?
Yes.
What's going on?
Yeah, so on and off for about the last week or two, I've been having these weird back spasms. So kind of lower back, kind of right-hand side at the back. I've just been getting this weird pain that shows up when I move around in certain ways. So you're like, if I bend over or crouch or something like that, twist, whatever, it just sort of has this odd spike, like this weird sort of sharpness to it that I can't explain. And for about the past 2 or 3 days, it's been pretty clear. And then woke up a couple of times during the night because I was having trouble rolling over in bed because it sort of just come back out of nowhere. And I mean, just to what you were saying earlier, I've seen chiros and osteos and stuff for most of my life. And I only saw one about a week ago, and it kind of resolved the pain for about 24 hours, and then it sort of popped back up again. And so I absolutely feel like this is something that's emotionally rooted.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you just said then, it kind of pinpoints that, yes, there is a big emotional link here. So one of the things that I hear so often, and this is something that I saw when I was a chiropractor as well, is chiropractic, osteopathy, physiotherapy, like these things are freaking amazing. Like when you have a real physical injury, these things can knock it out of the park in a matter of moments often. But when things keep coming back again and again in a similar way, 9 times out of 10, that's some kind of, it's not that these guys are missing, like they're not doing their job properly. It's usually because we're missing the underlying emotional core. So have you had this same style of pain before?
Yeah, I have. It's yeah, I have. It sort of shows up in different ways in different parts of my lower back, but it seems to be often concentrated around the lower back somewhere.
Okay, cool. And so how often would you say it flares up, or how often would you say you have these kind of episodes?
Every few months.
Yeah, right. I'm just taking some notes here. Okay, so every few months you get this kind of, it sounds like it's just like grabbing, like when you move, it's like it catches.
Yeah, like at the moment, I just sort of notice when I sort of bend forward even, I can just feel it. It's really pull at the lower back.
Awesome. What I want you to do is, so what we're going to do here, if this is all right with you, is I'm going to help you to try and make the connection between, well, not try, I'm going to help you to make the connection between mind and body. And when we do that, we often see people's pain levels actually drop quite considerably and often quite quickly. So that's a possibility that happens for you right here, right now. So what I want you to do, Israel, is I want you to maybe perform a movement. Like if you said before, bending forward kind of bugs you. Can you like get up out of your chair, bend forward, like maybe touch your toes, and just tell me what the pain is out of 10 when you do that?
So when I get to about there, that's about a 4. It's sort of been coming and going as I've been sitting in the chair this morning. So
when you get to where, can you kind of ask, like, I want you also to look at how far you can move, like.
So about there. So I've got normally a lot more. I can get a bit past it if I push through it, but it's normally about kind of, that's about where it starts to show up. Also notice just like twisting around. So if I was kind of just moving that way, or I can just start to feel it pull a little bit.
Yeah, you look a little bit ginger. Um,
Moving very carefully.
with that, mate, when you said like you can bend, like obviously can't see you on the screen, but when you're
Yeah.
bending forward, can you normally touch your toes, kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. Normally I can get to kind of within about that far pretty comfortably, but then I was sort of about, a foot and a
Okay,
half away from the ground. So it was a lot shorter than my normal range of motion.
awesome. Well, not awesome, but I get you. So
I know what you
short range
mean.
of motion. Okay, and so so is it like if you can kind of pinpoint where it is on your back, where is it? Like, can you stand up and just touch where it's sore? Like,
Yeah, sure. So just that. So it's kind of right there. So lower back, like my pelvic bone's kind of there, that pointy bit
yeah.
at the back, and it's just kind of right around that whole section.
Is that your right or your left side?
Yeah, that's my right side.
Cool, thank you. Yeah,
You
it's
never
just
know what happens if the
everything's
camera gets
backwards.
flipped around.
Everything's
Yeah.
backwards. Yeah, it was tripping me out a little bit. Okay, so when you basically let's just look at this. So when you bend forward, you're
Yeah.
getting like a 4 out of 10 pain.
So that's
And
about, even if I just do that, that's about a 6 there. That's really shit.
okay, so you're just sitting there, right? And just doing
Yeah, and
this.
just kind of literally just tilting my head and my back forward from there from a sitting position. It really grabs.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is I'm going to help you to make that connection between the mind and the body. And then what I want to do is we're going to come back and compare. Now, with this work, it can be a little bit personal, right? So I might ask you some questions and you might go, oh, shit, I don't necessarily want to talk about that in front of people live on Instagram. I completely get that. So what I'm going to say to you is I'm going to ask you some questions and go, how do you feel about this or what happened here? If it's something you don't want to talk about, just I'm going to say, just you don't even have to tell me, but just know what it is, okay?
Yeah.
And when you know what it is, you don't need to speak it out loud. You don't need to talk it to me. If you want to, you can keep it there. If you want, you can share. So we're going to do a few tests. So one of the questions that a lot of people get is, why is that I always get pain on one side of my body as opposed to the other? Why is it always when my back flares up, it's always on the right side? So Mim's here saying, I have this on my left right now. So Mim, if you listen carefully, this is going to be really helpful for you. Now, there's a very particular reason why that is. Now, what I want you to do, Israel, is can you just clap your hands for me? And that's kind of weird. Now, when you clap, if you were just to continue clapping,
Yeah.
one hand is going to sit more comfortably on top of the other. Which one is that?
Yeah. So my right tends to be sort of overlapped over the top a bit.
Okay, cool. So, and if you put the left on top, does it feel kind of weird?
Yep.
Okay, so what that tells me, and everyone playing along at home, is when you do this, if you just clap like you're at a concert, one hand will naturally sit more comfortably on top, right? So the hand that sits more comfortably on top is called our biological handedness, if we're looking at things from a genome perspective. Don't worry about that, what that means. But for you, Israel, your right hand sits on top. So if we were to split you down the middle, any pain that you experience on the left-hand side of your body, the opposite side to your dominant hand is going to pertain to mother and children. Okay, so mother and child. So this is a nurturing relationship. So it might be your actual mother, it might be your actual children, but this can often be children, can also be pets or businesses, or like if you've got a business baby, it's something that you either need nurturing from or something that you need to nurture. Does that make sense?
That was the left side or the opposite to my dominant side.
That's the left side,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, the right-hand side of your body is going to pertain to partner. So partner is like your wife, for example. Your father would be one of your first partners, siblings, friends, colleagues, basically anyone who's not your mum and your kids, right? So that's the right-hand side of your body, which is where the pain is. So if you're playing along at home, and if your left hand goes on top, it's just reversed. So if your left hand sits more comfortably on top, the right hand side of your body is going to pertain to mother and children. So again, literally or figuratively, and the left hand side of your body is going to pertain to partner. Okay, so what I want to do is just do this movement again, Israel, where you're sitting in your chair and you're bending your head forward. And you said, what was that? You said that was like a out of 10?
Oh, it's about a 5 and a 6 at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll call it a 5.5. So looking at this for you, the fact that your pain is on the right-hand side of your back tells me that this emotional conflict is going to be related to someone that's classified in your world as partner. Okay, so that could be at this stage any number of people. Now, what I want you to think back a little bit. When did you very first get this? When did you very first experience this pain? Like, are we talking months ago? Are we talking years ago?
Oh God.
Like, just rough
Years.
estimate.
Back pain has been a constant for years, like, and treatment for various things. But
Yep.
yeah, lower
How
back has
many are we
been
talking?
how many years? Been seeing chiros for about 20.
Mhm.
So yeah,
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
42.
42. Okay, so like 22, you started to get back pain. How do you know it would have been around that time? How do you know 20 years ago you would have been getting back
Actually,
pain?
43. Sorry. Just did the math. Hang on, that's not quite right. So yeah, I'm talking like probably university years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So back when you're at university, you first got back pain. So was there a particular incident or something that occurred for you to start getting back pain then? Like, was there an injury or how much? Yeah, 42 years young, 43 years young. But was there a particular injury or was it, or did it just start showing up?
I don't recall. I just remember it starting to show up. There wasn't any kind of specific injury I can say, like, I was crash tackled on the rugby field or anything like that, because I never used to
Gotcha.
play high impact sports. So yeah.
Gotcha. So if for those of you who are playing along at home and watching, just let me know if you've experienced pain and it just kind of showed up. So one of the other hallmark symptoms or other hallmark signs that the pain that you're experiencing has a stress or an emotional cause is that it just starts showing up out of nowhere. Like, you weren't hit by a bus, you weren't knocked over on the footy field, like you said. It just kind of starts to show up. The other side of that is if your pain did start from a particular incident. So Mim here is saying, I think mine was from pregnancy, or like I had back pain from a football injury. If there's a stress or emotional link, it's going to take ages and years even for people to recover. So if with this thing, if you actually had a physical injury, within a few weeks, maybe months, your body is going to be able to heal that itself. Like, there's a normal healing time. But if there's a stress link there, it's going to take 20 years. So already, Israel, you're kind of in the category of people going, yes, it does sound like there is a stress link here, because it showed up kind of insidiously. There wasn't any trauma or anything. You also had 20 years, right? That's a long bloody time. If you cut your finger and it took 20 years for it to heal, you'd be going, what's going on here? There's something that I'm missing. So these are some of
Which is so obvious when you point it out. But for the last 20 years, I've just been like, oh, this is just the normal. I just need to see someone every couple of months to get kind of cranked back into shape.
Yeah. So one of the things Alma's said here, even surgery, I kept telling this to my husband. Yes, if you've had surgery and you've had physical changes in your body, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're destined to live a life of pain. Usually there is some kind of underlying stress link there that once you manage that, your body can start to heal, because your body is always trying to heal. It's always doing everything it can to heal. Like I said, you don't have to think about healing a cut on your finger. Your body is automatically doing it. But when things take longer, there's usually something in the way, and that something in the way is usually in between your ears. So I mean that with all due respect. So
Totally get it.
it's not just you I'm talking to as well. Like it's Mim as well. She's just said here, interesting that mine showed up again when my second baby just turned 6. Interesting. So knowing these connections. So Israel, so with the lower back, let's get into it now. So the lower back is what we call a support conflict. So feeling like you're not getting enough support, or feeling like you can't give enough support. So an easy example is I had a client once who lost his job, unexpectedly fired, and he felt like he wasn't getting the support that he was expecting from his boss. The opposite side too could be that same person might feel like he couldn't support his children because he no longer had an income, for example. So when these events, Israel, they start from unexpected and stressful moments that we couldn't foresee coming. And what happens is when we go through these unexpected and stressful events, our unconscious mind, our subconscious mind takes a snapshot of everything we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And anytime we're reminded of one of those things, our back pain will flare up. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So I use the example of, imagine you go flying and you go through a really rough flight. That's an unexpected and stressful event. And that might cause symptoms in your body. And then a year later down the track, when you're on Skyscanner looking to book your next flight, your symptoms might return. Does that make sense? You following me? Cool. So when you were around 22, 23, where was it that you experienced an unexpected lack of support in relation to a partner? And like I said, you don't need to tell me. If you go, oh, holy shit, it's this thing, I don't really want to say what it is. You can just do that as well.
There's actually two that I can think of. One of them is the typical early 20s unrequited love of somebody at uni. And the other part is the conflict I was having with my dad about wanting to drop out of uni because I was friggin' miserable.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's probably a bit of equal parts there. It's actually funny because as you were talking through that last bit, I kind of identified as well. I've had a scoliosis diagnosed when I was about 14 or 15, and that was right around the time I was having some serious issues with my stepdad too. So again, like a father figure kind of conflict there too. So thank you, Mim. I just saw that. Very cute. Yeah. So wow.
Okay, so which out of those two, Israel, which was more unexpected? Which one sort of caught you off guard more? Was it the unrequited love, or was it more about not getting the support that you're expecting?
No, it's probably the dad one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just thinking about that, sitting in your chair, just tilt your head forward again and see if you notice any changes.
That is a lot lighter
Okay,
already.
cool.
That's crazy. Yep.
What would you give that? So it was like a 5.5, 5 to a 6 before.
Yeah, it's like a 2.5. It's
okay,
just
awesome.
still there when I go a little further, but I've got to go a lot further to get any kind of target
Perfect.
on that.
We're on the right track. We might be able to get that down to almost a nothing, possibly. Your body's still got a little bit of healing to do, but we're on the right track. While we're on this, can you just stand up and actually do the toe touching one again and just see what you notice there?
Yeah. So that you can't see my hands, but I'm about 4 inches off the floor, so I'm about kind of that far away from my toes before I start to feel anything there.
Is that closer than before?
Heaps closer. I was
Awesome.
feeling it kind of like 30 centimeters higher up. It was starting to pull, and the more I do this, the less it becomes.
Awesome. Okay, so
it's like voodoo.
It's not. This is really cool because once you make the connection between a physical symptom you're experiencing and some kind of thing in your external world, all of a sudden your unconscious mind starts to let go of it. And when your unconscious mind starts to let go of it,
your full body shivers at this point.
Yeah. What else are you noticing around your back? Can you feel any kind of warmth or tingling or any something else there?
To be honest, it's more just like a releasing, actually. It's more like just things just loosening. And like I said, like goosebumps happening all over the joint now. Like I'm feeling for want of a better term, the energy shift of
Perfect.
that. Wow.
You guys might not be able to see this, but you can see your face. I don't know if your face, you actually look a bit more flushed as well. Like you look a bit more bright.
Not surprised, yeah.
This is good. These are all physiological signs that your body is starting to let go of some old stuff, right? So you started to breathe. You took a few really deep breaths in there as well. You're starting to get goosebumps and you're starting to feel a physical relaxation in your body. This is what happens when your mind starts to let go of something that's been causing physical symptoms in your body. Yeah, Alma, yes, there was a shift. She could see it. So let's look at this. And again, Israel, you don't have to answer because this could be personal and you don't need to share it with the world. But so did you say it was with your father or with your stepfather?
It was both, but for different reasons at different ages. So the 22 or the 22-year-old bit would have been my dad, and that was a really, really tumultuous period of university and, going through that whole, do I drop out? This is the wrong career choice, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, like you said, expecting that my dad would have my back the same way he has forever. And then for him to then kind of, you're doing a stupid thing, you need to just go on and finish it, you need to push through, blah, 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 which was his training and programming and how he'd been raised. Put your head down, just get on with it and stop whinging, you know? So, yes, I think that was probably the most abrupt shock. I mean, there was other equal reasons for my stepdad, but I just don't feel that same connection there.
Yeah, sure. And when we're talking about these things, when you're on the right track, one of them will just feel right. It's like, yeah, it was this thing, and you're kind of explaining that. So what was unexpected about that? Did you were kind of going to Dad, hey Dad, I think I might drop out of uni. I think this isn't right for me. Is that kind of what it was? And
yeah,
that was
very much so.
That was met with kind of opposition. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, as it turned out, I finished the degree, and 2.5 years later, I realised stupid choice, wrong industry for me, wrong career path. And my dad and I had major blow-ups about it. The fact that I was walking away from a $100,000 a year job to do something because I was unhappy, you poor thing, you know, have a cup of cement kind of stuff, you know. So, yeah, so that whole narrative kind of continued from that phase.
Gotcha.
And so, I think because through high school leading up to uni, he was like my biggest champion. He was just supporting me and helping me achieve what I wanted to with my, you know, university entry result and basketball career and all that sort of stuff. And then to have this kind of about face, yeah, I've never kind of looked at it in that context before, but that's absolutely what it was. It was a total flip.
And what you said then is it's like he was always my biggest support. He was always my biggest support. He was always there helping me and supporting me. And then basically when you come to him and you go, hey, Dad, this isn't right for me. I don't want to do it. He flips that and goes, well, hey, harden up. You need to take a teaspoon of cement and get on with it. That's kind of that. I guess in that moment, what was it that you were searching for? What did you expect that you were going to get from your father in that moment?
Yeah, I was searching for support.
Yeah.
I was searching for validation that how I was feeling was okay, and that he was able to see that and then give me that support to kind of make the right choice for my life as opposed to the right choice for his.
Gotcha. Whew. And so in that moment, right, that's pretty unexpected. So these conflicts stem from moments that we couldn't see coming. That's one of the key things. So with this, Israel, your back pain's flared up now at 43, right? It's flared up now at 43. So what's going on in your world at the moment that reminds you of that lack of support, or not being, like, maybe changing careers, or what else is going on in life right now?
I am changing careers. So the whole normality of what I've been doing for the last 5-6 years of working in the same company as my wife, building the same thing together, I'm now down to 2 days a week in that, starting my own business. And so, yeah, it's like jumping out onto thin air and building the path as I go, you know what I mean? Or building the wings as I fall down.
Gotcha.
So it's very, very much a different vibe around the whole, you know, support structure.
So what about this situation in your life currently reminds you of that experience you had with your father when you're like, hey, I'm going to not do this thing? What about it feels similar?
So the emotional pickup then tells me that I'm on the right path with what I'm about to say, which is that trusting me.
So when you had that experience with your dad, you were basically trusting yourself and going, hey, you've listened to this inner guidance and gone, hey, I don't actually want to be doing this degree, whatever it is. And he's turned around and going, no, get your ass in a gear and finish it. And that was the unexpected lack of support. And I guess in that moment, as a young man, you were relying on that guidance and that mentorship almost from your father, and you didn't get it. And so now it's almost like the same thing's occurring. It's almost like you're wanting to make this transition out of the business that you've had with your wife. And it's just, notice how it's a similar kind of thing. You're making that transition out of something that isn't necessarily right for you into something new.
Yeah.
And that's going to subconsciously remind you of the time that you had that lack of support. You might not have the lack of support right now. Like,
No, I mean, the support's incredible, you know, like my wife is 100% all for me, but I think the difference is that this is, well, my dad's no longer on the planet, so that's sort of one difference. But the other difference is that this is about trusting my, yeah, trusting my guidance, leaning
Mm.
into my own sense of what's right for me and what's right for my path. And yeah, that's the bit that's confronting.
Yeah, right. And the reason it's confronting is because when you, well, it's confronting for anyone, Israel. Like it's going through that transition is can be challenging for absolutely anyone, right? But based on the experiences that you've had in the past, it's going to create this unconscious fear. It's going to create this unconscious, your body is unconsciously on the lookout for the rug being pulled out from underneath you. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, it does, totally.
It's almost, I almost get the sense from you, like you're a young man going through this thing and you got into trouble from your father for not following the right path. There's almost like a sense of if you making this transition, it's almost like there's a fear or a worry that you're going to get in trouble or someone's not going to be there to sort of support in that sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's also, it's I think also the uncertainty around the uncertainty. It's
Yeah.
not a known quantity, right? Like back at uni, I had the whole career path mapped out, finish the 4 year degree, step into a kick-ass IT job, earning lots of money, go down this path that I've been preparing for years, you know, right
Mhm.
through high school, all the subject choices, all the studying, everything was leading towards this whole thing. And then to sort of go, this is just isn't jiving. This is not the right path. Well, what is the right path? I have no idea. It's this great big empty void, you know, and there's that certain similarity with right now. Like I know that stepping away from the business my wife and I have been building is absolutely the right choice.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I have no idea what the path ahead looks like because I've never built a business in this field before. I've never done work of this nature in the same way before. So it's all that great big same empty void of uncertainty.
What a beautiful thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, as a reframe, it's just fantastic because it's that pure potential to create from.
Yeah.
But my
Well,
subconscious mind doesn't know that yet, obviously.
yeah. And the reason that your mind doesn't know yet is because it's basing the current present moment and it's operating from the lens of the past. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
it does.
what's been going on is you've been looking at your current situation in life through the eyes of that 22-year-old, the 20-year-old changing careers.
Yeah.
While you're there, just sitting in your chair again, let's just check your lower back. It has started to absolutely pour down here. Hopefully it's not too loud on the Instagrams.
There's a faint buzz in the background, but I wouldn't worry. So that's like, again, there's a little tiny catch at the bottom of that range of motion there, but nothing like what it was.
Okay, cool. And just have a stand up and just move around and see how that feels.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Oh,
How do you feel?
for those of you watching at home, the emotional stuff is another way I've learned I process things. Far out. Yeah, I feel great. I feel like this has just
Where's the
been,
pain now?
oh, it's, you know, 1.5, 2, and only in a very specific end of that range of motion. Like it's nothing like the started here and kind of continued through there. It sort of is nothing until kind of I get down to the bottom of it.
Absolutely perfect, mate. That's what we what
We
we
said do
what
a
you
backflip, Mim, as if.
home body organizing. Oh my god, what did I just miss? You just missed someone experiencing, making the connection between an old, unexpected, stressful event in the past and how it was manifesting in their body. So with this, mate, you're down to like a 1 out of 10, right? That's awesome. The thing with this is it
Yeah.
can drop to 0 sometimes, but sometimes a 1 out of 10 is perfect, right? Yeah. Israel
Mm.
started with a level 5.5. Five, you said 5 to 6 pain, so we changed that to a
Yeah.
5.5. So down to a 1 in a matter of however long we've been chatting is
Yeah.
perfect. Now, what this is going to say is your body still has some healing to do, right? There's this when I talk about stress and emotions impacting the body, people think that it means that the pain is all in my head. It's not all in your head. The stress and the emotional challenges that you're experiencing actually create physiological changes in your body, right? So how we talk about this is the stress of, imagine doing 1,000 burpees, Israel, or like you surf, right? I know you
I
surf.
can't imagine that, but yes, I surf.
Imagine like like a 4-hour surfing session. It's just pumping down there at
Mm,
Crescent Head.
yeah.
You're getting barreled all day, and like you surf for 4 hours. That's a big stress on your shoulders. And while you're surfing, the muscle fibers are actually going to break down.
Mm,
And then once you sit on the couch the next day, they're going to be sore because they're healing. So this stuff isn't all in your head, as a lot of people are told. It
right.
starts in your head, but it creates real changes in your body. And you know what's cool? The changes in your lower back. If you did a big surf and you had pain the next day, would you be thinking, hey, my body's screwed, my back's screwed, or my shoulders are screwed rather? Or would you be thinking, oh, I'm getting stronger and next time I go surfing, I'm going to be able to paddle for longer?
Yeah, the
A or
second one
B?
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
B.
So with this stuff, you experience what we call a self-devaluation. It's like, I'm not good enough. I didn't get enough support from my dad. So the physiological changes in your
You've
body,
been reading my journal.
but the physiological changes in your body, right? Your body has been, your lower back muscles have actually been breaking down and getting stronger so that you didn't experience a lack of support in the future. It's helping make you physically stronger, because in nature, if you're physically stronger, you're less likely to get let down. So this is pretty cool. So I'm going to leave you a couple of days, like in the next day or so, I reckon tomorrow morning, you'll be completely, no worries. You'll be down to 0.
Yeah.
But here's the thing for you, Israel. What are you going to do if this thing flares up in a few months' time?
Well, firstly, I'm going to revisit my notes and find this video again and watch it, because I'll sort of take myself through the same process again. But secondly, I'll probably just book in for a one-to-one with you.
No,
So,
you don't
right,
need to.
what else is there?
You don't need to, because you could. That's kind of the lazy answer, but because you can start doing this yourself. So you now understand that this unexpected stressful event that you experienced of not getting the support from your father when you're expecting him to be on your team and say, hey mate, yeah, I understand this career and degree isn't right for you. Let's see what is right for you. You didn't get that support when you were a young man. And so anytime your back pain flares up in the future, subconsciously, you would have been reminded of that somehow. So in this instance, it's because you're changing careers again, and you're sort of going to that void of uncertainty and fear, and learning to trust yourself again. So the question I want you to ask yourself, Israel, is if this flares up again in the future, ask what reminds me of the time that I left you or left uni and I didn't get the support from dad.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's kind of draw that comparison again, help my mind associate what's going on now with what happened then, and what I'm guessing based on what we just did, that's the kind of the cue for the mind to go, oh, let that release. That's not happening anymore.
Perfect. When you make the connection, Israel, so this is the beauty of this work for everyone playing along at home, is when you're able to make the connection between a stressful event that you've experienced in the past and how that stress has been stored physiologically in your body in the form of pain, when you're able to make that connection, you're able to go, oh, you let it go. Like you saw physiologically your body released, you let it go. And one of the things that you said, Israel, is, holy shit, I haven't thought about that thing in years. Notice how you said that?
Yeah, 100%.
So, and the reason you hadn't thought about it is because your body was actually remembering for you.
Yeah.
Your body was actually helping you to remember what that was. So this is the power of how you can start to heal yourself, is recognize that if your back pain flares up, something has reminded you of that unexpected lack of support. Make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So I, for years and years and years, had so much pain. I had debilitating back pain too, like where I fractured my spine in a couple of places and I had back pain for like 10 years. and learning the connections. If like sometimes it'll occasionally flare up, but I know exactly what's caused it, and I can shift things in my brain and go, oh, it's because of this, and then I can let it go mentally, I can let it go emotionally, and when that occurs at the level of the mind, the body also relaxes, which is what you just experienced. So this is how we all become self-healers, right? Is learning how to understand the signals and cues that our body is giving. Because most people will experience pain, they go, oh, I'm broken, there's something wrong with me, or I need to go and get fixed. Bullshit. Your body is just responding to old stressful events in the mind. And when you can make those connections, you can start to heal. The universe is agreeing because there's just a thunderstorm rolling overhead now. I don't think you can hear that.
It's doing the boom mic drop for you.
It is. Awesome, mate. That's really cool. So,
Jeez, I'm so grateful, Jake. That was wild.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. How do you feel? Do you have any questions for me?
No questions, Your Honor. That was amazing. I mean, I've heard and seen stories of your work previously, so it's not surprising to me, but it sort of is surprising to me at how easy it was, just how much it was that connect this to this. Once those connections are made, it just evaporates. I was like, for real? And the physical evidence for me is just mind-boggling. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And this is the thing, right? It's when you make those connections, it's things just let go, things just dissolve. And this is why, and most people actually believe that it's not possible for things to change that quickly. And this is why I want to jump on here and do some coaching with people like yourself, because I'm quietly confident that when I get someone on a call, it's like I can figure out the links or help you figure out the links pretty quickly. So, mate, that's fantastic. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Me too. Thank you, sir.
So there you go. There is the pain-free process live in action. And as you can see, or not see, but as you could hear, Israel was able to get out of a lot of pain. He was able to notice an immediate shift in his symptoms. And I actually followed up with him a couple of days later, just sending him a message and said, hey mate, how you going? And sure enough, he was still feeling great. He was still, his pain levels had completely subsided since we spoke. So this is the power of this work. And I share this episode with you, not to show, hey, how fantastic this is or anything like that. No, not at all. I just want to give you hope because you know what? There is so many people out there who are struggling with pain, who think that there's nothing else that they can do because they've tried everything. And this is why I'm sharing this with you. This is why I do what I do, because you know you don't need to suffer. There's no reason for you to needlessly experience pain when there is a way in which that you can get out of it. So understanding this, understanding GNM and understanding this work in the pain-free process, implementing this can help you to heal in a matter of moments. And if you don't believe me, go and check out our website and look at some of the testimonial videos that we've got there, because there's countless people who have had the same experience that Israel has had. Now, this is what I want for you. If you would love to join me live on Instagram, if you would love to get a free coaching session with me, all you need to do is head over to mindbodymasters.ig-live-consent and fill out the form there. And what I'm doing is I'm going to make this a regular theme on Instagram where I help people who are struggling with pain to go through this process and to start healing. So if you'd love to get a free coaching session from me, if you'd love to get out of pain, and if you'd love to experience the power of this work, head on over to that link. I'll put a link in the show notes below, and you could be the very next person to go through this live IG coaching session. So guys, I hope you found this episode useful. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you thought of this episode. I know it's a little bit different. Likely going to do a few more of them because the reviews so far have been fantastic. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And remember, just because nothing has worked for you this far does not mean it's not possible for you to heal. You just need to find the right path. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the Mind Body Masters podcast. Now, everyone has the ability to heal themselves with the right tools, information, and guidance. So if you have someone in your life that needs to hear this message, please share this episode with them so they too can start healing from the inside out. Now, if you've liked this episode and you think more people need to hear this message, please give us a great rating on iTunes, because it helps more people to actually hear this message and realize the power that they have. Now, if you'd like more information and you'd like to access bonus video content and even have the ability to ask me questions directly, then head on over to my free Facebook group, the Mind Body Masters Heal Yourself from the Inside Out group. or you can head on over to Instagram and slide into my DMs there. My handle is Jake_Curry. All right, guys, thank you so much again for listening, and I'll catch you again on the next episode.